Hello everyone, and welcome to my Duel Today official news channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. According to the Monday, October 2 days of our live spoilers, Talia Hunter no longer thought it was a good idea for Marlena Evans to be her therapist. Although they were co-workers, Marlena believed they could maintain their professional boundaries, so she persuaded Talia to continue seeing her for therapy. Talia told Marlena everything about how she got inebriated and slept with a married man after Channel Dupree, Raven Bowens, ditched her because she now had time for a session. Talia also talked about how she took this guy to the flat after getting wasted at the bar. On Monday's Day's episode, at the Salem PD, Sean made romantic arrangements over the phone with Bella Brady and swore to be the spouse she deserved. After Sean hung up, Jada Hunter, who had just returned from London, overheard their discussion and confronted him. Although Sean expressed regret and accepted responsibility for his role in Talia's affair, he was unsure of what he would do if Belle disappeared. On Monday's DiOlo program, Vivian Alamain and Gabby DiMera decided to let Dimitri von Leischner bleed out on the floor inside the DiMera estate. Stefan countered that since Dimitri still needed to sign away his shares along with Megan DiMera's, they should keep him alive. Stefan then suggested that if Dimitri wanted to survive, he should assist them. After first refusing to sign, Dimitri eventually handed Gabby the code to his locked briefcase and permitted her to get the required documents. Dimitri was assisted in signing the documents by Gabby before an ambulance was called for him. Stefan, Gabby, and Vivian had to gather their thoughts after the paramedics had transported Dimitri to the hospital. Due to Vivian's parole, she wasn't permitted to possess a weapon, so Stefan ended up stepping in to protect her when Jada and Sean arrived to conduct an investigation. Stefan asserted that he was with Gabby when they arrived at Dimitri's location following the gunfire. After lying that no one was present, Stefan added that Vivian didn't arrive till the ambulance had left. Vivian thanked Stefan for stepping in for her and subsequently acknowledged that Victor Kiriakis, John Aniston, knew will caused her to lose out on the riches. On Monday's Day's episode, Talia was called back to work just as Belle arrived in Marlena's office. Sean's recent disappearance and how he ended up recovering after a wild night in Jada's apartment were topics Belle brought up with Marlena. As the puzzle pieces fell into fit, Marlena remembered the earlier events in Talia's story. Sean's turnaround had Belle feeling optimistic, but Marlena cautioned her to tread carefully. Gwen Rizchek punched Maddie in the face after he confessed to having slept with Dimitri at Leo Stark's room. Leo and Dimitri wouldn't receive a penny as a result of Gwen's revelation that she had discovered them together in Iceland and was now seeking retribution. Gwen proposed that Kristen DiMera adopt a more subdued strategy and steal the initial portion of Dimitri's riches from the bank, despite the fact that she had catastrophic plans for the man. Liam received a call from the paramedic regarding Dimitri being shot after Gwen had already shown him the check. Leo claimed that if Kristen was responsible for this, then Gwen was also at fault. Talia acknowledged that Dimitri was undergoing surgery after Leo hurried to the hospital and revealed that he was Dimitri's boyfriend. Leo questioned whether Gwen was there to kill Dimitri as she arrived for further fighting with him. Gwen initially rejected it, but later acknowledged Leo and Dimitri were truly in love. Gwen made it plain that their friendship was ended while Leo relented and tried to mend his relationship with her. Gwen sent Leo back to be with Dimitri after Talia provided updates on the procedure's success. On Monday's episode of Days, Leo sat by the unconscious Dimitri's hospital bed and pledged to never leave his side, especially since Dimitri was all he had left. Marlena then called Talia back to her office to resume their conversation. Talia assumed there was nothing more to talk about, but Marlena pointed out that Talia omitted the part about having a sexual relationship with her son-in-law. Jada promised Sean she wouldn't tell anyone about him sleeping with her sister once they were back at the Salem PD. When Belle stepped in the doorway and heard the startling news, she appeared uneasy. According to Days of Our Lives spoilers, Belle is about to unleash her fury. According to Days of Our Lives spoilers, Nicole Walker's pregnancy is progressing quickly, so we should start planning for what will happen when her child is delivered. There will inevitably be some problems because this is Salem. Sloan Peterson has tricked DiMera into believing that he is the father of this child. And in order to give this child the best possible opportunity of surviving and flourishing, he has hired outstanding professionals. Even though everything are now going well, this pregnancy still has a high risk. Just try to picture Nicole having a smooth delivery with no complications. On days, it doesn't happen very often anyway. But Nicole's history of having babies has made it even less likely. When Nicole's child is ready to be born, will she even be able to make it to the hospital? If Nicole somehow finds herself in a difficult scenario with Eric Brady somewhere, Days may have a good opportunity. It might cause early labor and necessitate Eric performing the delivery himself. That would be appropriate given that Eric is Nicole's baby daddy. Even though Sloan has gone to great measures to keep that awful information hidden, Eric is still the biological father of Nicole's unborn child. Eric might unwittingly assist in the delivery of his own child or children if he is still in the dark when Nicole goes into labor. It's possible that Eric and the baby immediately form a strong attachment that he is unable to fully express. Of course, Days spoilers indicate that based on the baby's due date and any potential issues, this might be a very risky situation. Although Nicole's health will also need to be monitored, Eric may be able to care for Nicole and her infant until they can access appropriate medical attention. In the end, this DOL birth won't be easy sailing when that day arrives. Therefore, in the event of an emergency, Eric could have to stand up for Nicole's unusual delivery. As this plot progresses, Days of Our Lives spoilers indicate that Nicole will encounter additional baby drama. News and spoilers about Days of Our Lives tease as Edmund Crumb draws a gun. Trip Johnson and Rafe Hernandez will be in danger. When Trip arrives in London to search for his mother and Susan Banks, he also bumps into Rafe and they end up in danger because of Edmund. If Trip and Wendy Shin hadn't believed Ava Vitali's account of remembering Susan making it out alive, they wouldn't have offered any assistance. Ava and Harris Michaels fled because DiMera had put a hit out on her, which was another contributing factor. In order to know where they were heading, Wendy and Trip worked together to create phony passports. Trip then made the decision to travel to London in order to assist. Trip's appearance surprises Rafe because he and Jada Hunter had followed Harris and Ava to a hotel. But they never came back for their belongings, and Scotland Yard was unable to locate them. Jada went back to Salem, while Rafe stayed in London. Rafe recalls something Sami Brady told him about Susan before they were married, namely, that Sami had previously been married to EJ. Long before EJ's tragedy, Susan had been regaling her with tales about her time as Edmund Crumb's wife in London, when her Elvis was a baby. Trip believes it's worthwhile to have a look at as Susan may have retrograde amnesia back to when he was a baby. She'd have gone there if she didn't recall EJ as an adult. They start hunting for Edmund, and when they do, they discover him, and just as Trip discovers Susan bound, his mother and Harris comatose in a bed, Edmund pulls a gun on Rafe. Trip hears Susan say, when she complained, Edmund shackled her after he had poisoned them with poison tea. Trip supports Rafe's risky decision even though he is concerned about the type of poison that Harris and his mother have received. Despite the fact that Crumb is now unconscious, they manage to wrestle the gun away from him without being shot. As Rafe holds the gun on Edmund, they chain him up, and Trip phones for an ambulance. Susan is aware of the type of poison tea. Trip frees Susan from the chains. The threat might still be present because EG has given his mole in Salem a new task. Is the assassin headed for London? However, the current predicament is handled by giving an antidote to Harris and Ava and releasing Susan from her captivity. Thanks for watching if you liked this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.